Hoi Hoi, my name is Kitsundere van Lonelyheart and today I want to play Titan Quest, which is one of my favorite games. However, I wasn't able to finish it ever because whenever I play this game, I create a new character and then I'm interested to play this game for 20 hours within the next 2 weeks and then I lose my interest. And whenever I try coming back to this game, I'm unable to play any of my already existing characters because I just have no connection to those characters anymore. And I don't know why I've created them in the first place, right? And this game is, you could say, incredible long. There is an achievement in which you have to play the whole game within less than 20 hours. But there's some things to know about this quest, because about this quest called Titan Game. This game used to be much shorter. However, it got 2 DLCs which added to the main story. So essentially, this game has technically 6 chapters, but 1 chapter is optional. And so the optional chapter, chapter 4, and chapter 5 are the DLCs. I'm actually not sure. I think it got another DLC that I don't know anything about yet, which might even add a 7th chapter to this game, right? But essentially, chapter 4 and chapter 5 are mandatory to complete the game, but they don't used to be in the path. I probably should just start playing the game to understand what's going on, right? So I have like 200 hours on this game and like each character only like 20 hours. So let's play Titan Quest. Right, so yeah, for example, Luna is one of my characters. Luna is my pyromancer. Then I have Mokka, my best friend, as an archer. This was one of my oldest characters because there are 2 achievements that I wanted to do with Mokka, which is the first achievement is playing through the game without dying, and the second achievement is playing through the game while only having 1 class. I really love the class system on this game, but I explain this more further. Well, I kind of failed both of the achievements on this one. I could still do one of the achievements. With Mokka, I'm at the beginning of Act 5, but this game it's complicated, okay? Alright, so we have Monk, which is a Naidan, which is, I think, the newest class, which came with the last DLC, which is essentially like a monk-inspired, poison-related class, like Chinese monk class. This is Whoosh, which is a Rook. We have Steel, which Steel was supposed to be just Defender, but Defender kinda sucks, it doesn't have any offensive. We have Storm Mage, which is essentially just Ice and Storm. I don't know what the second class is. I don't know why he's called Channeler. So the class system in this game essentially works like you can choose 2 classes, and then depending on which combination of classes you have, your class changes. This is Traumwolf. This is a class that I tried another achievement with, which also there's an achievement where you have to finish the game with killing less than 100 enemies. The idea of this achievement is that you're using a summoner, but originally this achievement was pretty easy because you only had 3 chapters, and now that you have more chapters it becomes harder because summons don't scale with your stats. Which is a huge issue, which is like the biggest thing that I dislike about this game. That summons don't scale with stats. You're essentially a summoner, the only stat that matters to you is HP. And intelligence. But intelligence because it gives you mana regeneration, not because it increases the damage of your summons. This is so stupid. This is probably one of the most difficult achievements, and you need to play through the game on higher difficulty so that you unlock items that you can then use on your summoner, which increases the damage of your summons. This is so stupid. And I have multiple characters where I've tried this. I think Annie's the other character, right? So ritualist is essentially dream and nature. The idea is dream increases the damage of your summons and nature gives you a lot of summons. And this is necromancer and nature. Necromancer, similar to dream, increases the damage of your summons, but is more summon related than dream. This is just a beta test where I wanted to test something. He is a summoner too. Thunderer. Thunderer is probably the class that I want to go. But I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure about this. Then we have the Rune Master. So this is definitely the last character that I played. We also have him. He is my highest character that I've played. As you see, he's level 60. And I tried to get the achievement where you have to play through the game without dying. But I wasn't successful on this one. And then we have Lucy. Lucy's also one of my oldest characters. She's a battle mage. She's essentially a warrior, which can dual wield weapons, and a pyromancer. But that is not a good combo. Pyromancer is kind of sucks because it gives you some bonies for not mage related stuff, but most of the stuff it gives you is mage related. So it kind of sucks on a warrior character. Right, and those are all my characters. So wait, where was he? So where was Kitsu? Right, so I'm going to create a new character, and I'm probably going to play Rune Master, which is a DLC class, which I pretty much like. So let's create a new character. We are naming him Kitsu LP. So you can choose Accomplished Hero and Legendary Hero. What this does is it skips to New Game Plus, right? So if I don't choose any one of them, I will play in the level 1 difficulty. If I choose Accomplished Hero, I start in level 2 difficulty. And if I choose Legendary Hero, I start in the last difficulty. But for the LP, I kind of want to just do a normal one. Tunic color is kind of irrelevant. So let's just start. Let's create this one. So unfortunately, you can't really customize much about this. One thing that I saw when I was about to start the game for the LP, one thing that I've just saw is that there was announced Titan Quest 2, which is kind of cool because Titan Quest is my favorite game. Grim Dawn, I haven't played Grim Dawn yet, but it's technically the spiritual successor of this one. And now this game actually gets an actual successor, which I'm really hyped for. So I want to play this game now, and then. So yes, just yes. Okay, so let's start. Alright, oh, I forgot something. I'm so stupid, okay. Not reset position, I didn't want that, hold on. Okay, now all of this with VC face not hidden, that sucks. Okay. The game... Okay, so the game is laggy and it is kinda silent. Let's increase the master. You can adjust speed. Game speed. Let's go to fast. I think very fast. Very fast is okay in the beginning, but later on it makes it kind of difficulty. Google item pick up. Damage and healing. Let's just do all. Okay. Alright, resume game. Okay, let's talk to some characters. Hold on, I think this is... we have to do this one, Let's do more often stereo, of course. I don't know what the rest is. Music, I think music can be like this.
Find it here in Elos. Our village has recently been beset by satyrs and other vile beasts. The help of your fighting arm would be greatly appreciated. Our farmers cannot get to their fields and our supplies are running low. Please, go down the road toward the village and help where you can.
Okay, so a bit of knowledge that I have about Greek is I think this journey starts in Spartan And I think Helos is a name for the Spartan caste of slaves, because one way Spartan was, or one way the society of Spartan was built is that they had much more slaves than actual Spartans. And so I think their slaves are called Helos, but I'm not sure about this one, so don't quote me on this one. We have Timaeus, a poor farmer, and this was Coritos. Never mind that. I've never read that name. Okay, Timaeus.
You must have been sent by the gods. Please, in the field here, they're going to kill my horse.
Oh no! Okay, disable tutorial. I don't care about tutorial. So one achievement you get is if you reach level 2 without being hit. I already have this achievement. But the way to do this achievement is essentially those enemies were focused on the horse, right? So if I now go over here, there is another group of enemies, and these enemies are aggroed to the soldiers. So I can essentially kill them without needing to worry about them hitting me. But I also don't get experience points if I don't get the last hit on those enemies, right? So as you see, I have no experience points.
Hello, I am Aeson, guard captain for this small village. We are holding up, but what's the use? If the monsters lay waste to our farms, we're lost all the same. It's that cursed shaman. Diomedes is tearing his hair out over it.
Right. Okay, so this is a rebirth fountain, which acts as the place where I reborn. I try to not die as much as I can, but I know that in the third chapter there will be an enemy type that will just easily kill me. So I'm pretty sure I'm not getting the achievement in this one.
The waters within these fountains are blessed by the gods. They say when you touch the water, your soul drinks from it. Should you suffer the dark fate in battle, your body will return to the fountain and you may live to fight again.
One important thing to know about those rebirth fountains is if you die, you don't respawn near the rebirth fountains. Instead, you spawn by the last one that you've touched, and you automatically touch them if you encounter them for the first time. But if you want to mark another one, then you have to actively touch it again. Okay, so now Diomedes, Elder of Helos.
Hello, stranger. I'm Diomedes, the leader of this small village. Do you mean to say that you fought your way here? If that's true, then please, I beg of you, we need your help. Monsters led by a powerful satyr shaman appeared a few days ago and have driven us from our farms. We can hardly defend the village gates and have no one who can stop them from destroying our crops. Our farmland lies on the other side of the river, just over this bridge. The shaman was last seen beyond the farms at the edge of the Helos woods. Please, rid us of this terrible sorcerer. We will pay you what we can.
Okay, I will do this, but I first want to explore the area, and after talking him, fight triggers. Who are you?
Oh, Muse, inspire me to speak of the mightiest hero ever known, son of Zeus, a god, and of a mortal woman, the man named Heracles. Hated by the goddess Hera and beloved of Zeus, mighty-handed Heracles battled monsters great and fearsome. The Nemean lion he slew, and the Hydra many-headed, the Erymanthian boar, and thunderous giants. 12 tasks of legend did he perform. Heracles rose above the realm of mortals. Once, it is told he took the place of Atlas, who holds the world aloft. Heracles. Yes, Heracles bore the world itself upon his shoulders. And now, where is a hero half as great as he?
Right in front of you. Okay. So, we have a trader over here. Okay, so let's see what they are doing. They're killing the enemies. This is actually good, because what you... Hold on. Which button was it? Was it... No? No? Damn it, which... Okay, it's Y. So, if you want to get the achievement for not getting hit by reaching level 2, one way is to hope that one of the enemies drop a bow. and the bow allows you to hit enemies from afar. Another option is if you already have another character, then you can
We shall see you again.
go over here and transfer some stuff. Now, I'm using a mod which allows me to store my weapons on an external program, so I don't have any weapons in here except for these greaves. Right, so this is essentially personal storage, this is the transfer area, and this is also a transfer area, but it's for relics. Right, so this is an artifact, this is relics, so essentially those things. All of this is a bit complicated. It's essentially those formulas, and if you have the necessary materials, you can craft this. Cinderbolt, I don't have a Cinderbolt, I think. But essentially, those things go into the slots and they enhance your abilities. They are probably one of the most important things in the game. Okay, so obviously if you have transfer, you can sell some stuff and then you can buy a bow.
With those
If you
monsters
don't
everywhere, you better get some
one
quality
dropped.
weapon. Until next time.
Okay, so what's now essentially you go over here and then you can kill those satires, and you want to kill those satires before they reach you. Wait, how do I make... There was... Okay, it was B. Alright, so... Obviously, if you don't want to fight archers, if you want to get the achievement and you don't have infinite range. So let's just kill some of the satires. Unfortunately, at level 1 you don't have any abilities. So you have to wait until level 2 before the game actually starts. That's also the issue if you want a 0 or if you want a less than 100 kill achievement, then the enemies that you kill now, you have to kill them. Unless you play on multiplayer, which is also... They have both. Okay, so I'm probably not getting the achievement in this one because I've already was hit. But I've already have the achievement, so it doesn't matter. Right, so you want to avoid archers. The torch is a pretty good weapon at the beginning, because it essentially deals between 8 and 19 damage, which is pretty good. Who are you?
At harvest time, the whole village sets to work in the fields. The crops must be gathered and properly stored. We make an offering to Demeter, goddess of bounty.
Okay.
It was 3 nights ago, traveler, that the shepherd boy ran up crying about a satyr. We didn't believe him, but he was right, and now I never wish to see a satyr again.
The boy will quite satyr.
What drives these creatures to burn our fields and slay our cattle? How do we stop them? All the nights Timantes played harp on the moonlit hill. We would dance and drink. Now we hide in our homes and pray that we see another sunrise. Here in Helos, we live quietly. We have avoided most of the wars. We are farmers, unlike our Spartan brothers.
Okay, so Helos might actually be the word for farmer or something like this. I am amazed by how much dialogue those characters have. I never knew that because usually I don't even talk to them usually, but usually you talk to them once and then they are great and you don't see a reason to talk to them again.
Even the animals of the wild have turned against us. Carrion birds and savage boars now hunt those who used to hunt them. Even the animals of the
Okay.
even the animals of the
That's the last
of the
one.
wild.
They have a lot to say. I'm not sure if I want to show all of it. Because it's essentially only flavor text. I mean, someone got paid for making this flavor text, and another one got paid for voicing it. Okay, so I want to kill all the enemies. Those boars are level 2, so they are a bit harder than the satires. And then there are those carrion crows, which are fast, but usually fast to die too. Okay, let's kill all the enemies I want to reach level 2. Alright, there's nothing else here. Okay, so over here is an interesting chest. This is the first chest that you will encounter, and it has scripted inventory because it always drops 3 health potions. Now, if I press... Now, I've allocated... There's a... I want to say too many things at the same time. There is a quick button for quick looting gold and potions, and I've allocated it to A. So I can just quick drop them to quick whatever. I'm so stupid. Also, it's just 9 and 0, but I've allocated it to Q and E. Essentially Q for health and E for energy. Okay, level 2. Alright, now the most interesting part about this game. So first we will get attribute points. We get 2 attribute points for each level, but I don't want to spend them now. And the second thing is the classes. So as far as I know, except for Neidan and Runes, all other classes are vanilla classes, and those 2 classes are DLC classes. So you can take a look at anything. As long as you don't skill a mastery point, you can always undo the mastery. I want to get something to drink, and then I will take a look at each mastery. Okay. Alright, so the first one is Storm. Storm is one of my favorites because Storm Nimbus is a spell that replaces your base attack. And as you might know, I like base attack oriented builds. So this one essentially... Or was it this one? No, oh no, that wasn't this one. Wait, Ice Shard was the one that I mean. So Ice Shard replaces your base attack. It's a spell that has no cooldown. And yeah, I kind of like that. And then you can skill those things multiple times, and each time you skill it, you will upgrade it. You have Storm Nimbus, which is a enchantment, which is like a passive skill. It's not passive, it's a buff, so you apply this buff and then you have this buff forever unless you get it removed. What it does, it increases your base damage, or essentially increases all your damage outputs by ice damage and lightning damage, right? Storm is a ice and lightning oriented one, and then it also has multiple upgrades, so this increases the damage of ice and the effects of ice. Energy reserved means that if you activate the skill, it costs max of your energy. So, for example, 25 energy reserved means I will have 25 max energy if the spell is active. And so this one increases the ice effects from the enchantment, and this one increases the electric enchantment. Freezing Blast encases an enemy, immobilizes them, but also makes them more difficult to damage. It's essentially, if you're fighting against multiple enemies, you want to freeze some of them so that you can deal with the other ones. Pretty useful. Energy shield. Creates a shield of energy that will nullify incoming damage from elemental attacks. I'm not sure if this is that useful. Gives the energy shield the ability to affect portion of the enemy attacks back at them. But like, this is only useful if you fight against enemies which deal elemental damage. And I think the only elemental damage is fire, ice, and electric, but I'm not sure about this. So it isn't really that useful. I guess it's something that it's very niche. One thing about this game is you can reset skills, but you cannot reset masteries, right? And one way on how this game is intended to be played, that depending on which challenge you face, you have to change your skill loadout. So there might be bosses where this one is useful, and then there are a lot of bosses which is not useful. Over here we have Squall. Creates a windstorm in the target area that decreases the projectile attack accuracy of enemies carved within it. Also, similar to this one, it's very niche. It's good against ranged enemies, which if you encounter a lot of ranged enemies, they can pretty much burst you down very easily. So it is a useful spell, but also not something that I would choose. Reduce visibility and fire makes it difficult for enemies to efficiently attack or defend themselves. Yeah, so it reduces their resistance additionally. Storm Shores, Storm Surge. When activated, each enemy hit has a chance of unleashing a violent squall of storm energy. Yeah, this is also like something that enhances your base attack. Like I said, I do like this one a lot because it enhances your base attacks. We have Thunderball, which creates a ball, and then the ball will deal... No, that's not the one that I mean, right? No, this one shoots down a lightning and deals damage in a large radius. That's not the one that I meant. This was the one that I meant, right? Cold Storm... Eh? Okay, I'm too confused about this one. One of those skills was that you shoot down a thunder that stuns, and the other one was that you create a ball that shoots out sparks to nearby enemies, I think. And then we have Spellbreaker, which negates the buffs from enemies, which can be useful, but again, it's more like an anti-mage thing. So we have... This is a summon, this is Summon Wisp. Summons are like additional characters. The reason why this the Wisp is good is because the Wisp essentially cannot be killed. As you see, 99% chance to dodge and avoid projectiles. But summons aren't that great in the game. Okay, right. I probably don't want to talk about all the masteries because it will take too long. Let me talk about Earth, which is a combination of fire and earth. And I don't really like it. It has, I think, two cool abilities. Earth Enchant, which is similar to the Storm Enchant, which increases your attacks by dealing extra damage. And another one is Fire Nova. Fire Nova is probably one of the best skills in the game. If you can max it out very early, and if you max it out, you have it very easy for the first 3 chapters. And then, otherwise, this has a lot of active abilities here. This is a summon. This summon is actually pretty good because it taunts enemies. It's one of the best summons in the game. But, like, I don't like it that you have so much active abilities about this one. Dreams and Spirit, those two are probably the best ones. Dream is complicated. Dream is so weird. This is a base attack skill, right? So this skill replaces your base attack, and then you have Phantom Strike, which is like your skill attack. So you mainly have those two. Interesting about Psionic Touch is that this one, I think, works only with staffs, right? But the rest works for everything. So this is a good build for mages, but it's also a good build for non-mages. Right? This skill is better for non-mages. And then you have also a lot of buffs. It deals vitality damage. I'm not sure about what vitality damage means, but I assume it's supposed to be like necrotic damage, like a damage type that is dealt by necromancers and undeads. And then you have those trances, you can only have one trance, right? This is another thing that you want to change which trance you have based on your situation, so you want to reassign your skills depending on which boss you have to face. Away from chaotic group, it's not I don't quite remember what this skill is. Okay, anyway, we have Warfare. Warfare is like it's like a glass cannon. Like if you choose Warfare and Earth, then you have pretty much glass cannon build. The most important one is you get a lot of buffs for weapons. For example, offensive ability is your hit chance, and attack speed is attack speed. Makes sense, right? And then Onslaught replaces your base attack, and it essentially increases your physical damage, and it has an extra effect based on the charge. I don't remember rightly. This just increases... No, this stuns enemies. It's useful. Then you have Warwind, which is probably... It increases your movement speed. Is this a jump attack? A devastating spinning attack, they can damage up to 4 enemies. Okay, that's interesting. So it's essentially a Garen. Battle Standard was a buff. Dodge attacks is just flat dodge chance. Where's the one that I'm looking for? Weapon training. Dual wield. It's over here. Learn to efficiently wield 2 weapons and perform occasionally double attacks or throws. Yeah, this works with any one-handed weapon. And this includes throwing weapons, because throwing weapons are also one-handed weapons. But one important thing about this game, shields are pretty OP. So if you don't have a shield, it's usually not a good idea, unfortunately. Right, so that's pretty much this. Then you have Spirit. Spirit is essentially necromancy. This one is, if I remember correctly, yeah, you get a lot. This one is actually a really good one as a second one, because it as a second mastery, as a second class, because it gives you a lot of buffs and debuffs that you can apply. But this one is in general good. Yeah, attacks have a chance to reduce enemy resistance, which is pretty good. Toast of loss that increases the and smoke, that hinders your foe, right? So this is essentially an ability, a utility. Potent elixir, increase your health regeneration. Okay, and then triggers when a health or energy this buffs your health or energy potion, which is pretty useful. This is the opposite, so essentially you have a buff if you don't use potions. Entrance with weapon effects, right? And then you have like lots of abilities that just gives you some utility. Defense is the opposite of warfare. Defense is probably one of the best masteries to have, because it has a buff that, not a buff, but it has a passive that decreases the amount of stuns you have. And later on, if you can get stuns for like 3 seconds, and those can be fatal. So defense is a really good one. Nature is like essentially, for a druid class, it gives you healing, it gives you thorns, and it gives you summons and some buffs. Runes is the Viking one. I will choose runes, so I'm going to explain this one last. Hunting is essentially related to piercing damage, which means it's good for bows and for spears and for throwing knives. Rooks is for knives. One interesting thing about rooks is they deal bleeding damage. This one is also bleeding damage, but rooks deal bleeding damage, they deal poison damage, and they deal extra damage against machines. But they are really bad against undeads. Especially if you fight... There is one boss in the first act, you just have to fight essentially a ghost. And the problem with ghosts is they are immune to bleeding, poison, and physical damage. And when I was playing with my Mokka character, I was hunting, I had so many problems doing this boss because you're just dealing no damage. Alright, so let's take a look at runes. Rune weapon. This skill replaces your base attack. What it essentially does is, if I'm attacking, I'm increasing my charge, And my charge level increases the range of the ability, and what this ability does is... which one is it? This one, right? This one is just a buff, right? So for each charge level I get 3 elemental damage, total damage, and 10 intelligence. But this one makes it so that I deal elemental damage around me, and I think with each charge the range increases, but it's not really mentioned here. And this is really useful, because it essentially gives you a passive AoE as long as you're attacking, which is really cool. Alright, so I definitely want to go this. I will take this. And then you go over here and then switch it to Rune Weapon. Rune Sword Feather. Or no, Rune Word Feather. The basic engraving reduces the weight of a weapon or shield, letting a rune monster wield even heavy blades with grace and precision. Right? Increases your hit chance and decreases the strength requirement for our weapons. Which, the strength requirement might not be that relevant. It just means that I can wield weapons much earlier than I'm supposed to. But you probably want strength anyway. A big issue with Rune Mastery is that as a Rune Master you need strength, dexterity, and intelligence. Which kinda sucks. Because usually you only want dexterity and then either strength or intelligence. Also, Mastery gives you strength, intelligence, dexterity, and health, but it doesn't give you mana. This is another issue you might have as a Rune Master, just that you don't gain any mana. So this is the Rune of Life. Cast the Rune of Life on yourself or allies to protect against dark magic and increase stamina. Now, I think there was a change. Because originally, I remember there were multiple runes, but now there's only a Rune of Life. And I think they implemented that into the Nidon or something like this. I don't know. This is like a bit confusing, the change. So let's get to Rune of Life. What I don't like about the Rune of Life is that it's a buff that has to be reapplied. Unlike other abilities where you would just get a passive bonus forever, if you activate the ability. Okay, so we just want to kill those enemies, and there is the first boss that we fight, which is essentially just a shaman, but the shaman acts as a, which it's an elite, but it acts as a boss. So before I deal with them, I just want to kill all the small ones. Okay, I've got a gold, I've got my first rare weapon. Okay, so, alright, so we want... Oh, okay, so I do have to pot, definitely, because he's dealing too much damage. Okay, one pot was enough to kill him. Alright, so he should drop some rare weapons. Then we can loot his chest, and there are some more rare weapons or rare stuff. Alright, so let's take a look at what we looted. So we got the Staff of Agility. Those yellow weapons aren't really that interesting. They don't have a unique effect. They usually just have extra stats, right? So for example, the Staff of Agility gives me dexterity, and those energy resistance, every staff has this. Right, so we have the simple sash. Sashes are mage weapons, and there are two types of weapons. There are mage weapons and warrior weapons. There are unfortunately no archer weapons for some reason. Or there are some, but they are very rare. Right, and like mage weapon needs dexterity and intelligence, and the warrior weapons need strength and dexterity. Dexterity is a very important stat. It's your attack stat for piercing weapons, but it's also your dodge chance and... sorry about that. And it's also your dodge chance and your hit chance. So dexterity is one of the most important stats because it just gives you a lot of defensive stats. So, of course, I've only got mage weapons dropped, but I can sell them all. I can't really use any of those. Right, you also see they have level requirements, but the more important requirements are the stat requirements. I could technically go for them, because I'm going for intelligence anyway. But I do want to go for a melee build. Alright, so this was the first quest. It took me a very long time to complete. It took me 40 minutes to complete the first quest. Holy shit. I am slow. Alright.
You defeated the powerful shaman? Astounding! Your victory today is great, but I fear there will be more monsters tomorrow. At least there is enough of the harvest left to feed us all. Take this gold. I know it's not much. Please seek out the Spartan general Leonidas. Petition him on my behalf. Ask him to send a few of his warriors to protect us, and quickly, before we are again overwhelmed.
I'm curious about this. Is there... What is this? Video? Audio? Speaker setup. General? Is there... This kind of irritates me. It looks like that this game has... This kind of irritates me. I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean. It kind of looks like this game has, what you call it? Speak, no. Voice chat. But I didn't saw a setting for this. It does make sense, I'm single player, so it doesn't... whatever. Now that I've created this quest, I can go to this, otherwise they would have blocked me. And this is a, teleporter. This is a waypoint, which doesn't have a use yet, but I can press L to create a portal and I can always go back to here. Let's sell stuff.
You in a pinch.
Probably keep the probably going to keep the torch for a while.
We shall see you again.
Let's talk to the villagers.
You have saved our farms and our livelihoods. For this, we thank you.
Okay, so they probably had some dialogue if I would have talked to them before doing this. But to be honest, that's probably too much.
I want you to know you saved our
Yeah.
lives.
Let's just ignore them. Okay, so now the world is open and here's our first side quest. Okay. So, what's your problem?
We were leading our flocks home when a pack of satyrs attacked. By the gods, they grabbed Tellus and dragged him into a roadside cave. The roads aren't safe. Nowhere is safe anymore.
Okay, so his brother got kidnapped. I'm not going to explore everything. There's no really point for you. Will get some extra experience points. But those experience points don't really matter. Especially later on, experience points just doesn't matter anymore. So I'm just going to kill some enemies that I see. Although, I probably should level a bit, because if I want to do the side quest, it can be a bit tough. This fight can actually be a bit tough. Ouch! I'm dying! Someone please save me! I'm too stupid to hit them. I hope that... Stop hitting me! Okay, I hope that the way combat works is going to be improved in the sequel, because it's not really optimal, but that's just an issue with the genre itself. Ooh, a crude spear of destruction. Probably want to use this one. Okay, so here we have some horses. I want to reach level 3. There is an experience shrine, which increased the amount of experience I gain for the next minute. The early game of this game is very slow because it will take a while until you got the abilities that you need. But later on it's going to be much faster. I probably also want to loot the areas a bit just so that I get some weapons. Alright, so there is the side quest. If I go near those enemies, they will walk in there. Those trappers are a bit tricky. They can throw a net, which will essentially stun you. I don't think it actually stuns you, but it makes it impossible for you to move. So if they trap you, you will have to tank. You will have to fight all of them at once. You can't run away, and you have to tank them. So I want to get another level before I go in there. Oh. Archers can be dangerous if you have too many archers at once. Like, with melee attackers, you at least can dodge them, but archers, it's difficult to dodge them. Nothing great. Also, you see this yellow line down there at my experience bar. If I die while I have a yellow line, all the yellow experience points will be saved in my tomb, and I have to get to this tomb again to get the experience points. So there isn't really any what you call it, punishment for dying. The worst punishment for dying is that, wait, I will show you this, right? Okay, so the worst, no wait, so the worst punishment for dying is that you will have them counted. Okay, so I'm level 3, which means I can put more into mastery. So you technically want to max out mastery first, because the stats are the most important, and after that you want to take the skills. Alright, so... now that I have 4 points, I want to allocate them. I think for now I just want to increase energy a bit. But the thing is, I'm not sure what the second mastery is that I'm going to take. Depending on which mastery I'm going to take, I don't really need energy. You can take the second mastery at level 8, I think. Right, so I have enough stats for the spear. The spear... Technically the spear deals less, like if you compare the spears, right? So, I mean, they both have a slow speed, so they probably have the same speed, right? So that means the spear deals more damage. It deals 8 to 19, it deals 8 to 22 damage, while this one only deals 3 to 9 8 to 19 damage. What you also have to consider is that the 3 bonus damage and the 12 physical damage aren't included in this one, right? So if I put this one in here, you see average damage is 18, damage per second is 13, right? If I equip this one, it increases a lot. That's because it applies the 12% physical damage bonus and the 3 bonus damage, which it doesn't apply on the 13 to 22 damage, and instead it's complicated, okay? I'm talking too much. 25% pierce ratio. I'm not exactly sure how this works, but it essentially means that 25% of the damage scales with dexterity instead of strength. So the highest value is with spears and the lowest value is with clubs, right? I think clubs don't have any pierce ratio. So if you want to play bows or spears, you want to have dexterity a lot of, and if you play other weapons you want less dexterity, but you still need dexterity because it gives you hit chance and dodge chance, and it's just a really good stat. So spears and bows are the best weapons in the game just because of the ways pierce damage works. Okay, I think what I'm going to do for now is I will put one. I will wait until I get another level up before I skill them. Okay, so let's kill this guy, and then this is a Shrine of Thorns that essentially gives me thorns. So nothing special. Let's kill those guys, and then try to do the quest. Right, okay, so I have to go over here. Enemies only respawn if you end the session and start a new one. So I don't need to worry about any enemies that I've killed in this session. Hi! So, okay, they are not using their ability, which is nice. Like, usually what happens if you come in here and then all the enemies charge you, and because you are in a net. I think this is what's going to happen down here. Oh, you're too slow. You're too slow. Oh, it also didn't happen. Okay, never mind. It was just more difficult in my memories. So you see, those enemies have the same as the shaman effort, but that only means that those enemies are quest enemies. So it doesn't mean that they are anything special. It just means that they are quest enemies. And they wouldn't. I think they wouldn't appear here if I didn't take the quest. But I think the quest essentially always exists. And those quest enemies also have a higher chance of dropping more valuable items. Okay, so let's loot the chest. And I've got a buckler, okay.
A human face. Good fortune finds me even in the darkest places of Greece. I believed I was counting my final hours.
Yeah, that's the request for
I am
orders.
Telis. Nicostratus made it back to the village? So he's alright then.
Okay, I don't care, to be honest. Alright, so I've got a protective band, which is a wing, which gives me lightning resistance, not that interesting. Shields, very important. They give you a percentage chance to block damage. And they also have a damage value. Now, the way how this damage value works is completely irrelevant unless you have defensive. The defensive mastery, because the defensive mastery gives you a chance for shield attacks. So the damage value on those shields are completely irrelevant. Okay, this one gives me 7 intelligence, which is actually pretty good. Like, 7 intelligence is crazy at this early on. Intelligence obviously increases your elemental damage. This game doesn't have something like magic damage, it just has different damage types that scale with different stats. Okay, so we have another rebirth fountain here, and now we go to the Laconian Woods. So in this woods, I don't think there's anything interesting, we just want to get to the next city. Quick as possible, but I'm going to kill enemies. I remember that the next boss we are going to face can be very tough, and you essentially want to have as much... Oh no, there was a side quest. There is a side quest over here. Let's do the side quest. Right, so there's this guy who gets hurt, and you essentially just want to kill all his attackers.
Thank you. I was in a bit of a scrape there, I'll admit. Thank the god Hermes you came along.
Okay, yes, and you get some experience points for this. Some of the quests are actually more important because they're quests that gives you attributes and health. So I would not recommend skipping quests in this game. Unless you know which quests are the ones that you have to take care about. Fortunately, there's optional DLCs, but no quests in this optional DLCs give you anything. They only give you experience and gold, so you can skip the DLC. And I think in chapter 3 and 4, chapter 4 and 5, most of the quests also don't give you anything. Okay, so here we have a monstrous boar, which is a level 2 boar. I'm not sure if I can take him. Nope, I cannot take him. He deals 100 damage to me. He's a level 10 boar. I have to wait until he loses aggro. He won't lose aggro, right? Nope. He's not going to lose aggro! Damn it! Okay, no, he loses aggro. No! He got aggro again. Damn, he has range. And there are harpies! Yay, harpies are so cute! I love harpies. One of my favorite enemies and one of my favorite mythology. Mythical creature. Let's kill them! Level 6 harpies. Ouch. They deal a lot of damage. I definitely need some level ups. Level scaling in this game is not as similar to other games of this genre. It's more like... Holy shit, now he camps this area. Damn it. Okay, this will be a problem. Okay, I want to reach level 4. So, let's kill some enemies. Damn it, that's unfortunate. The way how spawning in this game works is that each area has a certain amount of experience points, or like a limit of how many experience points can be in this area, and then it sets enemies based on this limit. Okay, this is an issue. I don't think there are many enemies here. I could just run past the boar and hope that he loses aggro. Okay. Alright, so I'm essentially going to ignore enemies. I don't think that a Thornschwein would help me against him. There's a doggy! No, I can't open this one. Oh, he has a side quest. Oh shit! Oh no, this is bad! Oh boy. This is bad. No, where are you coming from? Okay, let's get this one. I don't think I can deal with him. Nah, he deals too much damage. Is there any way on how I can lose him here? Right, so if I go here, can I lose him? Yes! Oh boy. No way! I've never struggled so much this early on. Usually I would only struggle once I've encountered the next boss, because the next boss is an actual boss. Oh boy. Where's this fat guy? Let's kill those two boars. Where is he? Ouch. Okay, I don't have any potions anymore. I will just go over here. Use the portal stone. I can probably cheese the boar with the portal stone. I'm going to buy some potions. Oh, I can talk to him, but...
Tellus? Still alive? I can hardly believe my ears.
But he doesn't give me a reward, he's just thanking me.
My blades will serve you in a pinch.
Okay, so let's sell those. 6 intelligence, not interested. And then let's... Still... Oh. Okay. Yep, 71 health potion. I'm not sure if I can heal myself here. I don't think you can heal at the rebirth fountains. Okay, so if you teleport to your teleporter, then the teleporter will get destroyed. But one thing that I can do is... So first let me drink a health potions. I don't think I can cheese the boar with the health potion, because he's probably just out-damaged my healing. I definitely need stronger health potion for this, or more defense points. Okay, so let's hope he is somewhere where I don't encounter him. Of course not! Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going over here, place the teleporter here, talk to him.
Please.
Ouch. To activate the quest. Oh boy. This is so stupid. Why did this happen? Okay, so now I'm going to run all the way back to Helos. and then teleport to my teleporter and hope that the boar isn't there. What the hell is going on? Okay, so what this guy wants from me is there is a roadblock overhead, which is the first enemy. Well, it's actually a tough enemy, but it doesn't usually just give me any issues. So if we go over here, we see a graveyard where we can fight undead monsters. And normally pierce weapons aren't that good against undeads, but I don't think that it matters much here. And here we are going to fight this one. Also, I need to reapply my health one. This is also something that I'm forgetting, that you have to reapply them. I also don't actually know what it does, so... this one increases my strength, my movement speed, and bleeding resistance and vitality damage resistance. Okay, so it doesn't increase my health, but it increases my strength, which is important, and my movement speed. It increases my strength and the resistance stats further if I skill it more. I think I want this one, though. Sacred Rage. Being wounded in battle only accelerates your transition into a frenzy. Making enemies who fail to land a killing blow soon regret the attempt. Right, so if my HP is under 40%, I will essentially get some stats, which is pretty cool. It's a passive ability, so I'm taking it. Don't need this one yet. Arcane Power technique says channel the power of thunder, hitting multiple enemies with staggering force. This is an active ability, and this is a mine. I probably don't want the mine, I don't like mine gameplay. Although it might not be that bad, especially if I want to fight stronger enemies. I will try it. I will try it out. Runic Mine. Oh, that's actually not that bad. It's not what I've expected. It's a bit different. I'm not sure if this is good, but it definitely deals good damage. Okay, so just explore this area a bit more. Usually there is nothing interesting, but I'm not sure if this is actually a thing or if this is just random. Right, so one of those skeletons can carry a legendary bow or a unique bow. Which in this game they are blue. There are different rarities, right? So we have common, which is essentially gray stuff. Then we have uncommon, which is yellow, and then we have unique, which is blue. We have rare, which is green, but there are two different shades of green. Oh boy, this is so complicated. Right, so one shade of green means rare. It's essentially similar to this, which just has some extra stats to it. And then there is another shade of green, which is essentially a lower level than blue, but it still has... It doesn't have unique stats, but the stats aren't randomized, so it always has fixed stats. But I think the stats itself can be randomized. Okay, alright, so attributes. I want to put 2 points in health, 1 point in strength, 1 in intelligence, and 1 in dexterity. Let's put 3 points in health for now. I will probably change this up later. Okay, so, right. So, now let's head back to the quest. So what we are supposed to do is we have to go over here, kill those enemies, they are harmless. And then, oh, protective beads. So protective beads is a amulet or a, I don't know what the name is. for the word. Yeah, it goes around your neck. It's a neck accessoire. And then this one is the guy we have to kill. Now, I don't wanna deal with the archers. Oh, hold on, that's why I have made this. Okay, right. So let's let this guy through the... He blocked that attack, that's unfair. Okay, but he wasn't a problem. And he dropped a Might of Heracles, which is a relic. Right, so what relics can do, you can apply relics to a weapon, but you cannot apply them to blue or green weapons, so you can only apply them to yellow weapons. So they aren't really that useful. And what they're doing, they increase your stats or give you other bonies. But you can also use them for crafting, and they are more important for crafting than anything else. So I think since I completed the quest, I can now go back to the guy and talk to him, and he gives me a reward. Sometimes you have to go back to the people, and sometimes not. Yes, so he gives me a lesser health potion, and he also restores my health and energy. Which is not that important, but it's nice, I guess. So we just want to kill those enemies and get some extra experience points. So now, it's usually a good idea to be level 8 at this point. But I probably don't need it. Right. And if we go over here, no, not here yet. It's a bit further. Yeah, let's just go kill these enemies. Maybe I will reach level 5 and then I can skill more skills. And you also see now that there is like a violet number plopping up. I think there's another side quest over here. What do you have to say?
The Spartan army. Yes, you'll find them just up the road. They've built a wall.
He just tells me that the Spartan army is close, which is where we want to go. I think. I don't remember that we were told to go there. Okay, so a stuff of energy. I don't really need stuffs. So let's kill some more enemies. Hope that we get level 5. You also see that there's a violet number now. If I'm next to enemies and hitting them, that's the energy damage from this ability. So if I go over here, you see I'm applying energy damage to enemies around me. And if I increase the level of the ability, this is going to be much stronger. And it's really OP in my opinion. Like, especially if you pair it up with tankiness. So I think there's a guy over here. Yes.
I know it's dangerous here, but I can't go home. My daughter was supposed to be married. Alas, her dowry, a fine gold necklace, is in the claws of crazed demons who smashed my cart and ran off.
Necklace was the word I was looking for when I wanted to describe the beats. Right, so if we go into this cave, we will fight our first demon, the Bone Picker. And also some cave bats. Crude buckler of brawn. Brawn means that it has extra strength, which is probably not bad. 5 strength isn't that much, but I would take it. Also, I have to refresh my buff. So there are some more enemies to kill. I'm overcharged. Then some loot. And then over here is a mini boss. Right, and this mini boss will drop the necklace. I think there's no, that was everything. There's no other chest. What is this? This is a Beast Caller's Band of Insight. So this is interesting, because Beast Caller is what you need to increase the damage of your pets. The way this works is that, so it gives you +5 vitality damage and +8 vitality damage. So this one is essentially for the Necromancer. Now, this can have different effects. It can be bleeding damage, it can be physical damage, etc. So this is random. One thing that is interesting about this one is, if you get this item dropped on a higher difficulty, then this bonus will increase. This bonus is always the same on the same difficulty, right? So no matter in which chapter I am, I will always gain plus 5% damage and 8, I think maybe 8 is randomized, but I'm not sure about this, right? But the damage will always tell this. However, this damage, I think, increases by 3 times if you are on a higher difficulty. So on the next difficulty, I would get 50% more vitality damage and 24 vitality damage, and then even more on the next difficulty, right? So if you want to do the achievement with killing less than 100 enemies, you definitely want to have completed the game beforehand and use those items that you have dropped from higher difficulties. There are also some unique weapons and unique equipment that can help you with that. Right? But the most important thing is that you want to drop them on high difficulty so that you gain the extra stat bonus. It is a bit stupid that the stats are tied to the difficulty and not to the level you are. Right, like, there are some things that bothers me about this game, but overall, I really like this game. Okay, so I have to go back to the trader, to the merchant. Ah, a leech! A lich. Oh, this is an undead captain. Undead captain are pretty dangerous enemies, because they are essentially like my Lucy character. They have fire, they have earth and dual wielding, which makes them really dangerous enemies.
The necklace! Oh, may the goddess Hera bless you!
Yay!
My daughter will have her dowry now, thanks to you. We'll start preparing. I wonder, if these strange beasts do not go away, how many weddings will we have? How many will be ruined? Thank you!
Okay. Alright, so what did this gave me? A sense of Prometheus Flame, which is another artifact. Which it gives me additional burn damage on my base attacks and also increases the fire damage. Oh, and that's the first arcane formula that I've dropped. Now they do cost a lot of money, so it will take some time until you can make your first formula. The Death Rattle gives me 10 extra damage. It also makes that I deal 30 poison damage over 3 seconds. And it increases my health and energy and attack speed. So this one is a pretty good one for assassins. Especially because since it gives you flat damage, it will give you more bonies on a fast weapon than a slow weapon. So this one is really good for fast weapons. And not so good for spears. Okay, let's reapply the buff, because I will forget about it sometimes. So there's some crows. More crows. The carrion crow. I think carrion in this sense mean that they carry diseases, but I'm not sure about this. It could also be that the carrion crow is just a mythological creature from Greek mythology, and it's just like a more generic one. Okay, so here we have another graveyard. They are dealing good damage. It's like those archers are a problem. Mages obviously also, but like archers are just mages that deal a different type of damage, so I consider them as archers too. Here we have a breastplate of protection. And another essence of Prometheus Flame. So the breastplate of protection gives you 10% protection. Also don't have armor yet. So the thing is, at this point I'm supposed to pick up grey armor, because you're not dropping that much armor. And the game's probably more difficult for me because I don't have because I don't pick up grey armor. Since I don't have like basic defense. The only difference between grey armor and yellow armor is that yellow armor has some extra stats to it. So it makes sense to fill your equipment with grey armor and then switch it out with yellow armor. Okay, so here's the battle marker. The battle marker will increase your damage by a lot. Also, oh! Okay, this is funny. I've got my first green item, and this is not a green. Like I said earlier, there are 2 green items. I consider this dark green, and there is a lighter green. Lighter green are similar to yellow items, so they are randomized. This one is a unique item. And one thing that I want to mention is that at this place I found my first blue item, which was a unique bow that one of the skeletons wielded. Okay, so I only have limited inventory, but that is fine by now. This is a throwing weapon. So throwing weapons were introduced in the Viking DLC. And throwing weapons are actually pretty good because they are single wielded weapons. So I can essentially switch out the spear and still have a shield with this one. But this one is for level 11, so I can't use this in a very long time. So the stats that this one has are always the same, but I think they can be different. Right, so for example, you can have, I think, between 30 and 35% physical damage, for example. This one is pretty good. It increases your physical damage, your strength, and your attack speed. I mean health, but it reduces your health regeneration, I think. Oh, and I think you can also have negative health regeneration. There is some set of items later that gives you reduced health regeneration, and it may give you negative health regeneration. But it gives you like minus 30 health regeneration or so, which is actually kind of cool. There aren't many games who does that, because usually it works like it reduces your the way it's coded is that it reduces your health regeneration, but your health regeneration can't be negative. I don't know why they are coding it like this. Right, but this is like the more brute force method of coding, that because you don't have an extra step that prevents you from having negative health regeneration. Okay, I'm level 5. I probably want to be level 6 before I've encountered the next boss, but that should be easy. Okay, this one is a new enemy, which is a War Rider. This one probably was not supposed to be here, because enemies are random, so this one doesn't appear always here. But as you see, this is the Brute we fought earlier. So a boss enemy is now, or like an elite enemy, or a, let's say, boss enemy, is now a normal enemy. This happens fast. And we meet the Spartans. Which one? Probably this one, yes. Hi.
General Leonidas. He's just ahead. But he doesn't speak with commoners who arrive uninvited.
Why not?
I told you, just keep going, you'll find him. I told you, he's in the camp. He stands beneath his Spartan banner. Let me be, stranger. Let me be, stranger.
Right, okay, so, and here we have Brasidas. That's interesting. This is Leonidas. So, I'm currently playing Odyssey, right? Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And in this Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you are essentially the grandson or granddaughter from Leonidas. And one character you are meeting is Brasidas, which is actually quite interesting, because this Brasidas lives at the same time as Leonidas lives, but the other Brasidas, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know how old they are. It is possible that the Brasidas in AC also lived at the time when Leonidas lived, depending on how old you are. Right? Like the main protagonist could be like 20, and then the mother could also be like just 20 years old later. So I think Spartans used to have a law that if you are, I think it was the age 25, but it also could have been like 22 or so. Essentially, if you are after a certain law but you're not married, then you have to pay taxes, extra taxes, which is quite interesting, right? So the Spartans wanted to have your children's as early as possible, right? So if we assume that Leonidas was like 20 when he got, I think Marina was her name, and then Marina herself was 20 when she got the protagonist, then it would be possible for Brasidas to be alive both when the protagonist of AC is 20 and when Leonidas was young, right? Because the Brasidas in the game could have been like 60 or so, and Leonidas was probably 60, but we know that Leonidas died, right? He didn't die of old age, he was killed. Anyway, let's go back.
Hold it there. No civilian gets in to see General Leonidas, especially when he's in a council of war. Well, look. A particularly savage centaur named Nessus has killed several of our farmers. He runs wild in the Pelena Valley. We don't have the men to send after it right now. Kill the beast, and I'll see you get to speak to Leonidas.
That's interesting. First he says he, but then he says it.
If, when you've killed that oversized man-horse, come back to me.
Okay. Hi.
I tell you, stranger, we've seen invasions. Macedonians, the Persians. A human enemy may lower his weapons and yield, but these monsters only yield to death.
I'll tell you the truth. I just joined Leonidas' men today. My father gave me permission, and his old spear and shield, and I took off like Hermes himself.
I'm curious at which time this game is supposed to be played. Is this after the Spartan War, or is it before the after the Persian Spartan War, or before? It's probably before, because I think Leonidas dies in the Spartan War, but I'm not sure about this. I actually haven't watched 300. I'm sorry about this, I don't watch movies. Okay, so here we have an enchanter.
All enchanting services right here.
So the enchanter is interesting because you need the enchanter to craft artifacts. Right, and also tells you what you need. You need a scroll of arcane power, which is a spell that you can buy. This is also interesting. There aren't a lot of games who use this mechanics, but you essentially have extra spells that you can't learn, but you can use through buying them from traders. Also, you need Valor of Achilles, right? So, and this is the altar of separation. If I were to, you can combine them together to up to 3, right? And they will get stronger. I think I've also forgot to mention that. If you put this one on a weapon, but you want to separate it, you can put the weapon in here, and then you can either recover the weapon if you want to keep the weapon and you want to apply another relic on it, or you can destroy the weapon and then get the relic back. And charms are essentially monster dwarfs. That's also a thing, right? So the enchanter is important, but not really early on. And over here we have a weapon merchant, a spell merchant. Okay, no third merchant. Alright, let's look at
I'm busy enough supplying the Spartans. Hurry, what do you want?
What do you want? I like this trader. He has funny dialogue. Now, we have warrior weapons, we have hunter weapons, and as you see, throwing weapons are hunter weapons. Although they don't deal pierce damage. I don't want to buy a weapon. Let's see, could I actually upgrade? My current spear deals 13 to 22. But to be fair, since it has the 3 bonus damage, I'm probably not able to upgrade it. The mace has actually higher damage. But I can't get this mace. This is the copper mace, and this is a crude spear. Crude spear is, I think, stone spear. So if I upgrade to a copper sudis, as you see, it deals more damage. Crude spear. Sharp sudis is probably copper spear too. So copper is the highest level that I have right now. It's not really that much better. A copper hammer would deal more damage. Ball mace of brawn. Ball mace of agility. This also deals extra damage. I think this is actually bronze. Right, so this is copper and this is bronze. I don't have enough money anyway, but I'm going to sell some stuff. I was going to sell everything. The breastplate. The breastplate doesn't have a good effect. Right, like I can essentially, yeah, I can just buy a better one. So let's just sell this one. I will keep the throwing weapon. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I can also sell this one, and this gives me 5,000. I think all of them are worth 5,000, but I'm not sure about this. And I still don't have enough money to buy a mace, but that's okay because I don't have enough strength anyway.
Goodbye.
Good boy. Did I didn't skill. I didn't invest skill points. A Thunderstrike, an arcane weapon technique that channels the power of thunder, hitting multiple enemies with a staggering force. I wanna try this one out too. And then invest the rest of them into mastery. Okay, Thunderstrike. Okay, for Thunderstrike I have to need an enemy nearby to use it. Okay, so what has the mage? He sells some weapons, but that's not really interesting. What's interesting is his staffs. Right, so if you want to play a mage, you probably want a staff. Because the staff gives you energy regeneration. It is not really, like, the damage of the staff is not really that interesting, unless you, I guess if you play Earth Mage, because as an Earth Mage you don't have a replace for your base attacks, but you probably just want to kite enemies more and use your spells against them. This is more important for Ice Mages or Storm Mages. Then you also have Mage Armor, and then you have some stuff over here. You have this, which replaces the color of your tunic, but it's not really that interesting, because you usually wear armor over the tunic. Okay, so who's this?
If I look worried, it's because Hippias, an ancient of war and father figure to me, wandered off into the valley this morning and has not come back. He is getting old and thinks he still has his former strength and speed.
This irritates me so much. This is the time. Hold on. Game menu. How? Can I remove this? Chat window? It's T? No, T doesn't do anything. Here's chat window. Party window. E. Okay, this probably only works in multiplayer. Alright, so we have to find an Ancient of War. He's just over here. I'm just getting some experience points to reach level 6, and then I want to do Nessus, which is the first centaur that we are going to fight. There are some sheeps over here. Here's a camp of those satire. I also have to reapply my rune. It is really annoying that you have to reapply your rune. Ah, get over here! Okay. I'm stuck. Excuse me? I am stuck. Okay, that never happened. This playthrough is cursed. This is so cursed. First I encountered a level 10 boar, and now I'm now I stuck myself in a tent. Okay. I need more experience points. Let's kill more enemies. Okay. Alright. So, let's test out a new ability. Okay, so you're essentially running to an enemy and then you're hitting him, which is pretty good, I think. Garland of Insight, more intelligence. Okay, you automatically equipped it. Charge! It feels underwhelming, but that's probably because it's on a low level. Right, and the thing is, it scales with intelligence and not with... It also has an arc of attack, so it probably hits multiple enemies. Yeah, it launches projectiles, it's interesting. I didn't saw those projectiles. Since it deals lightning damage, it scales with intelligence instead of strength. So I probably want to have more intelligence than strength. Ah! Oh, okay. Give me more experience points. I want to do chapter 1 in one episode, but the problem is, since I've took 40 minutes to complete the first quest, I will probably go over 2 hours. Oh, and over here we have the Ancient of War. He killed essentially everyone around him.
I was taking a morning stroll when I came across these monsters. When I was done with them, I thought I would rest a while. Hippias is my name. I've trained as a Spartan warrior since I was younger than you.
Since I was younger than you. This is such a funny way to say when I was a child.
You should be careful, young traveler. I'm quite all right. I'm quite all right. No?
Okay, I need some more experience points. I don't think I will reach level 6 before I encounter Nessus. The Nessus is essentially over here. There's some enemies over here. Oh, there's the first centaur and it's a ranger. I will probably do the first act in 2 parts. The second act is pretty short because it contains a lot of optional stuff, a lot of optional exploring. So I can probably do the second arc in 1 episode. Ah, I'm always forgetting that I have skills. I just like using base attacks. Let's train a bit. I think they have infinite HP. Okay, I think that was all the enemies that I could have encountered before Nessus, so now I have to fight Nessus. Oh, no, there are some more. I definitely want to kite the enemies because Nessus spawns with a lot of archers around him. He himself is a melee one, I think. So I want to go over here. Place the rune. That doesn't deal any damage. Right. Okay. Oh, there is a trapped spear. A trapper spear. So normally he spawns... Holy shit, he's way too strong for me. I don't think I can do him. Oh, he deals too much damage. Okay, I can out-damage him. Okay. Hooray! So, I've got a Trapper Spear. This one, as you see, it has a different shade of green, but I'm actually not sure about what I said about this is true. No, I think this is also a unique weapon, but it's not unique in the sense that it has a unique effect. This also doesn't have a unique effect. I don't know what the difference between those are, to be honest, but you can clearly see that they have different shades of green. I think, okay, so I think the difference is that this green, the more saturated green, has a unique effect, and the unique effect of this weapon is that it deals that it has 30 physical damage, and I think this one doesn't have a unique effect. Something to be honest, I have no idea what the difference is. I need more dexterity for this one, and since I increased the level, I can get more mastery points. Do I have enough dexterity now? No. Okay, so let me increase dexterity so that I can use the spear. And the rest of the points, let's go 1 into health, 1 into strength, and 1 in intelligence. Alright. So now this is the second wave he spawns, but since I was too far away, they actually don't trigger and didn't help them in the fight. And over here we can get some boss chests. Those chests are locked if you haven't killed them. Okay, so we have some yellow items. Which... Oh, I can get this one. Okay, let me get this one. This is good. This gives nothing interesting. Nope. Okay, there isn't really anything interesting. And there are some more enemies. Those enemies are randomized, they are not part of the boss fight, but those chests are, I think, also protected by the boss fight. Greaves of Energy. I will definitely take the Greaves, because they give me a lot of stats. I think the Runic Warrior is actually more oriented towards intelligence than towards strength. Yeah. Which means I'm going to take this one, because this will allow me to get stronger melee weapons without having to skill strength. And I'm probably going for an intelligence-oriented build. That means if I were to combine it with ice, I could go for a full mage build, but I don't...
The Pelennor Valley lies behind you. If it's Leonidas you seek, you will find him back in the Spartan camp.
So this character actually tells us to go back to Leonidas. You actually have to go back to Leonidas in order to complete the main story. I'm actually not sure if you have to do so. Let's just kill the enemies for now. But obviously going back to him definitely makes sense, because it gives you rewards. Can you please? Thank you. So let's go back to Sparta. Sparta! So we want to talk to this guy to complete the quest.
Hippias was okay? Just standing there. Well, I should have known better than to worry about old Hippias. Here, take this for your trouble.
Oh, he only gives golden experience. And what do you give?
Oh, you killed it. I have to say, I didn't think you would. You're no Spartan. Speak with the general if you must. Be quick. Leonidas is a busy man. Go on, don't make him wait.
So you're the one who brought the centaur down. I thought only a Spartan warrior could accomplish such a feat. So you are here on Diomedes' behalf. Very well. I will send a few of my men to defend his village. This isn't the first petition I've received requesting assistance. These beasts are everywhere now, and the lazy citizens who mocked Spartan discipline now whine for our help. No matter. Those creatures will regret the day they dared to step on Spartan soil. you must journey to the Oracle of Delphi. She will know where these monsters come from. I'd send a Spartan warrior, but I need all of them for battle. Go to Megara and find my old friend Timon. He can help you acquire a proper offering for the Oracle. Young warrior, remember, bravery is not born, it is made. Go now. I have
This is actually a side quest. The thing with the offering is a side quest. You don't have to do this, but you do want to do the side quest because you get permanent elemental resistance for it. But the thing with side quests in this game is you will usually do them just by playing the game because the game is very linear, which is not a bad thing. But this game becomes more interesting if you play it on higher difficulties, because then the game becomes less linear, right? I do like linear games, but I also like to explore a lot, so I have mixed feelings about this. I hope that oh, there's a cave. There, for example, is a cave which is marked as natural cave. It's a point of interest, but there isn't anything interesting here. There are no wetlands here. I think this cave has a chance to spawn wetlands, and wetlands are kinda rare in the game. This cave probably becomes more interesting on higher difficulties because higher difficulties has more stuff. I also forgot to sell my items. Let's equip this one. This gives me more strength. This one gives me more armor and more health, so let's get this one. I also want to sell my items. I don't care about those, to be honest. So let's just kill those guys. The problem is, right, so the problem with linear items, I don't mind linear items. The problem with linear games is I don't mind linear gameplay in this game because the items that you get are randomized anyway, right? So there is no point in discovering this cave because the items that you get from the cave are randomized anyway, right? So you can just skip the cave. Right, so this is why I think it's okay for this game to have linear gameplay. The actual issue that I have is that the items are randomized. It doesn't feel rewarding.
What do you want?
If you... Right, I want to keep this one, right? So it doesn't feel rewarding if you explore Let's get this one. This one is actually better. It doesn't... What is this? Also energy. Let's get this one. But it doesn't feel rewarding if you explore a cave and then at the end of this cave, the loot is just randomized, right? This is the issue that I have with non-linear games. Like, linear games are okay if they have randomized loot, but non-linear games are not okay if they have randomized loot. And that's like a huge issue that I have with Skyrim. Like, what's the point of exploring the world if all the things that you can get are essentially randomized? I mean, it makes sense to do quests because quests can give you a unique weapon, but that's essentially everything about it. Right? And what I hope for the sequel is that the sequel has less... Like, randomizing items is really important for this game, right? But I hope that it gives you unique rewards for completing quests or dungeons. And those unique rewards are randomized in itself, right? So what I mean with this is that if you do a certain quest or a certain cave, this will always drop the same items, but the stats of those items are randomized. So that if you like this item, but you don't like the stats on it, so that you can redo this dungeon or redo this quest to have a 100% chance to drop this item again, but with different stats. I feel like Diablo had this. I only played Diablo 3, but I think the problem with Diablo 3 and with this mechanic in Diablo 3 is that it's not really well implemented. Right, like you can drop the ring of what was his game? What was his name? Leoric? Right, you can drop the ring of Leoric from Leoric, but that's it, right? You don't get a unique reward for doing a certain quest, and you don't get a unique reward for doing a certain dungeon. You only get rewards for farming bosses. Right? And that's not interesting. I don't want to farm the same boss over and over. Or like, I just like only getting a reward for bosses, but not a reward for dungeons or unique quests. It's a bit, how should I say it? It's like not quantitative. I don't know how to pronounce it in English. Right? The amount of quests that give you the rewards is what's missing in Diablo 3. Okay, so the next step. So it will take some time until I get back to the main quest, because the next step is essentially just a village that has a bunch of side quests, and then you meet another village that has a bunch of side quests, and after that village you will find the my brain is melting, I'm sorry about that. Right, so we're essentially going to 2 cities, and then we will find the gift the offering that we need for the oracle. Right, so there's a lot of side quests right now. But one of those side quests is actually interesting because it gives you permanent health. So you can't even skip those side quests. And what we have over here is a dungeon. Stout stuff, and don't really need this one. I think Demonology gives you extra damage against demons, yeah. 50% damage to demons is actually pretty good. It's actually interesting that you get drop it here, because here you can encounter a really strong demon. But I don't think there's much interesting here. This tomb is not interesting, but there is an interesting one later on. Damn it. Yeah, so those captains can be really dangerous, because they are also buffing their fellow archers and fellow skeletons. So they can be quite dangerous. I don't think there's anything interesting here, so I'm just going to leave. The next step would be reaching level 8 so that I can get a second mastery. I'm not sure which mastery I want to go for. If I go for ice, I will become a Thunderer. I essentially have runic and ice in other characters, and runic and dream in other characters. So I probably don't want to go for this. Like, if I go for runic and earth, then I probably want to go for a mage, because taking earth on a non-mage doesn't really make sense. I could go for defense. Defense is usually a solid. Oh, I think I will go with the monk one. I feel like that might be a good combination. Okay, this is a Frost Shrine, which gives me extra ice damage and slows enemies, I think. Right, what does it? Okay, yeah, so it slows enemies and it deals damage over time. Okay, I'm level 7. One more level and I can choose a second mastery. Stop moving. And we have another village. So this is the village of Tier. And here's an important side quest.
The water by our village has gone foul. It happened just the day before last, after the first satyr was spotted. My sister got sick, and then my neighbor.
We are going to encounter a really cool enemy. It's the Arachnos. That's actually not the standard Arachnos. That's a unique variation of the Arachnos. I really like Arachnos, they are cool. This is the standard Arachnos. It's like a spider centaur. So we have a bone pile, which drops some gold. Nothing really interesting. I definitely need to sell items again. I don't think I've got anything dropped, important dropped in this city, in this dungeon, in the next dungeon. So I will just leave the items. And here we have a nymph, a water nymph.
Mortal, I am a naiad, the spirit of this spring. Pagea I am called. My water has been tainted and I am ill.
I feel like I have to increase the audio for dialogues.
Vile spiders have come to dwell in a cave by my water's source. They are the cause of the poison.
Okay.
If the spiders are not destroyed, I will grow weaker. Or worse, I will become foul and corrupted in my nature. A naiad is a water spirit. That is what I am. Not everything that is unhuman has been touched by this plague of madness. As long as the spiders continue to poison this spring, I will be sick. As long as the spiders continue...
Alright. Here we have to kill some spiders. Now, funnily enough, we don't have to kill all spiders, we just have to kill the spiders that are marked as quest enemies. And here's another first shrine. Web crawler. This encounter here can be very dangerous because they are orb weaver, and those orb weaver, they not stun you, but they weave you. Similar to why I was scared about the trapper, the satire trapper, because they can be quite dangerous if they stun you. Oh, band of agility. I don't know. Don't really want to pick it up. Okay, so there are just more irrelevant Arachnos. Oh, and over here we have quest enemies. And then there's an Opt Weaver. And yeah. Ah! Oh, and there's the Death Weaver's shield.
You have no more room.
Okay, I want to take a look at the Death Weaver's shield. What am I going to throw away? I can throw this one away. And this one. Let's keep the other things for now. Orb Weaver's shield. Oh, that's a pretty good shield. I definitely want to use it. Ah, okay. The death spinner can also trap me. Arachnos Chitin of ability. It gives me defensive ability is dodge chance. Well, it's not dodge chance, but it's your evasion. Okay, I probably want to use some skills. Ah, I'm stuck. Oh boy, oh boy. Whee! Okay. Alright, so those were all the quest enemies. What do I need? I need more strength. This doesn't count as a weapon, right? So I think if I skill this one... Okay, this one will inflict panic on enemies, on lesser enemies if my HP reaches under 40%. A weapon inscripted with a powerful wound may cause a successful hit to blast outwards. This is a passive ability. That's actually pretty good. 4% chance to be used. Unleashes the full force of the thunderbolt. Okay, that's also pretty good. And this one is Many of All. Summons a barrier of lesser woundstones to block and distract enemies. I don't think this is that good, so I will skip this one out, but I definitely want to take those two. And... okay, so shields count as weapon. But as you see, armors don't count as weapon. Okay, alright, so that's everything over here. Now I can go to the water nymph and get the important reward. Oh, Death Weaver or Arachnos Soldier. Oh, lag? Okay, that was weird. Okay, so I definitely want to play until I reach 8 hours.
You have cleansed the poison from the cave.
Level 8, not 8
My
hours.
waters will run clear and clean again.
Yay, and I've got 75 health, and this is actually maximum health.
Thank you, stranger.
What to say
Thank
now?
you, stranger.
Okay, let's head back to the village. I don't know if this village has a radar. Oh, spiders. This is a trader.
I used to sell plows and scythes to farmers, but since the monsters, it's been swords and shields, greaves and spears.
This gives me more armor. Yeah, I think I want to keep this one, so I want to keep this one. So let's sell this one and this one. I need more strength. Next level I should be able to get this shield. But the armor will take some time. I probably have to go for mage armor if I want to go for a more intelligence oriented build. But I want to do melee attacks. For now I will go intelligence build.
Farewell.
I'm not sure about the weapon that I will go for. So over here we have a small area, a small graveyard, where we can fight the first zombie. And we also have a plague bird. Like, one thing that is interesting about this game is enemies drop the weapons that they are carrying, right? And they are also using the weapons that they're carrying, so they can spawn with legendary weapons and then use those weapons. Okay, so there isn't really anything interesting here. I will just push forward to the next city. This also interesting, this city doesn't have a waypoint. And there's an army of zombies! Technically, zombies are weaker than skeletons. Not just because they're slower, but because skeletons have pierce resistance and zombies don't. Zombies are still immune to bleeding and poison. Okay, so there is not going to be much interesting until I reach the next city. No interesting stuff. No side quest, I think. Okay. Ah, only half a level for the next level up. Oh yeah, now comes this part. I don't like this part at all. Oh, but we are encountering our first cat girls. The Maynards, or whatever they're pronounced. Cat girls. There's a really funny Easter egg. I probably don't get this one, and I don't think I have the items anymore. But there is... later on, there is a area where we are going to meet a unique Maynard. And this Maynard is the bane of my existence, because it always destroys me. And there's a funny Easter egg. There's an item that can be dropped. Over here we have the Ishtians, which are some reptilian folk, and we have the giant turtles. Those turtles suck. They have piercing resistance, right? I can kill them very quickly because I'm dealing elemental damage, but if I were a hunter or something like this, I would not deal any damage to them. I think I will just ignore those enemies, or at least those turtles. They aren't really that dangerous. Can run away from them. Oh, and there's the first Ishtian shaman. A shaman. And we have some undeads over here. Right, like, most of this game is just killing enemies, but that's typical for this genre. I could just run away all of them, but I want to reach level 8. Oh, and here we have the first drowned. Probably do this. Mines are pretty strong, and they're working better than I expected. Hey, level 8! I should use my abilities more often. Ah, kill it. Okay, so level 8. I'm going to play until the next stone, and then I will end. But now that I'm level 8, I can select a second mastery. Now the question is, which mastery do I want, right? So I feel like those masteries, right? So like Storm, Earth, Dream, Spirit, and Rook are main masteries, and the other masteries are more like support masteries, right? Like Warfare gives you some extra physical damage. I mean, you could think of Warfare as a main mastery just for weapons, but I don't know, it doesn't really do as much as the other masteries. Right, and the Rook belongs over here. I probably don't want to go for hunting because it gives me bow and spear bonus, but I don't really want to necessarily use a spear. I mean, Rune is like it's like a secondary mastery, but also a main mastery. And I'm going to play it as my main mastery, so I definitely want a secondary mastery. I could go defense. I probably don't want to go for nature because nature kind of sucks. Since it's related to summoning and summoning kind of sucks. It has good healing though. So I could go defense. I don't want to go for hunting because I don't want to go for desingn damage. I probably want to go for this one. I don't know much about their abilities, however, so I have to take a closer look. So this creates a smoke cloud that hinders my enemies. Can either stun or immobilize them. That doesn't seem to be that great. I probably don't want to get this one. When attacking, you channel ancient mystical powers to lower your foe's resistance. This is a passive one, so I kind of like this. You channel the Wrath of the Emperor's past and strike your foes with lightning. Okay, this is a left mouse button skill, so a skill that replaces my base attack. So I probably don't want to go for this one. It increases the total damage by 10% and gives me a 50% chance of dealing 13 to 20 lightning damage. It's actually pretty good. This one doesn't do this. What? Okay, this one isn't part of this one. Killing monster has a chance to grant additional rewards and increase the amount of treasure. Okay. That's usually not a good ability. Because any ability that increases the amount of experience points you gain or the amount of treasure you gain is a wasted point in the end game. This might be good. Like if I have a specific character that's just for farming, this might be good. Or this might be good in early game, but in later game that usually is irrelevant. Aura of Tranquility. Your mind is a weapon and a shield. You sense your chi to create a usable barrier around you. Okay, this reduces the damage that I received by 10%. And it has a 50% chance of fire retaliation, which is Thorns damage. This one is a really good ability. This one increases my dodge chance and reflects damage. It's also pretty good. Oh, this makes this reduces the enemy's energy, which is very niche. It can restore my own energy, but it costs more energy than it leeches. And not necessary. It is per second. Oh, and it also deals 30% of the lost energy as damage. It's probably not that bad, but it's very niche. Weakest Jackal, you become attuned to the elements, emanating lethal energy that weakens enemy and diminishes their vitality. So it deals necrotic damage and can reduce their stats. Terracotta Servants, throw an alchemy altered figurine that spawns an allied Terracotta warrior on impact. Oh, this is interesting. So this is a summon and it's similar to the wolf summon because you can have multiple of those. That's interesting. Those two are also interesting. Then we have Shenpao, 12 volatile alchemic concussion, and can transmit weapon effects. I'm not sure about this one. Okay, and this one gives me a chance to get an additional effect when I use a potion. This is actually a pretty good one. I'm not sure about this one, but this is an interesting... So this is an interesting ability. This one is not... Or this is an interesting passive. This is an interesting ability. This is a niche ability. That's probably a good ability, especially against bosses, against single target enemies. Terracotta Servants. It's not a bad ability, like, you can have it if you want to. Like, if there is nothing else left to invest points into, it is probably a useful one. but it wouldn't be my first choice. Well, I'm not sure. I kind of want to... I don't want to go for a second mastery for now. I just want to skill as much as possible in this one, and then go for another mastery, I think. Right, so... let's just let me get this one. I don't want those, and then invest the rest of this. Okay. Alright, let's head to the next city. Next city isn't that far. It's just at the end of this coastline. Over there is another cave, but it's not. This cave isn't really interesting. I think you can encounter a unique turtle. Yes, a unique turtle. Turtles can drop turtle shells. But I don't think turtle shells are that interesting. I wanted to ignore the turtles. What am I doing? I wanted to ignore those turtles. Damn it. Oh, potions. You know what? I will need those experience points eventually. Let's kill them. They're also slowing me, which is annoying. Okay, so those enemies are charging for the walls. Alright, this is the city of Megara, and over here we have another caravan driver.
Spacious and secure.
Yes. Okay, so I can equip this helmet. This is a throwing dagger, but I don't want to use throwing daggers.
Bye.
So I want to end this episode here, which means I'm not going to take any quests.
Welcome, welcome. A fine warrior like yourself. I'm sure I've got just what you're looking for.
I don't think I want to take this. Oh yeah, I've also said that I could equip this one. I was wrong.
Farewell!
I forgot I wanted to take this ability, but now I invested points into that. If I had invested points into this, I could have equipped the shield. But I forgot about it. I definitely need more strength. I think I want to boost my strength until I reach 100 strength, and then I'll not invest into strength anymore. I think later on I will need like 200 strength. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here.